the transfer portal affected your ability to retain and develop some of the players that you've recruited at wide receiver in particular?
Um, I don't know who you're specifically talking about, but guys that get in transfer portal. This is not for everybody. Okay, so maybe people that want to be here, want to be good, want to do the best they can, develop value for their future and who they are as a person, what kind of requirements we have for them to succeed academically so they can develop a career on the field, and what we're going to do to try to develop them on the field. And I think, I'm not mentioning any names, but there's only like one player that I was really like disappointed that, the guy didn't stay here, and I couldn't understand why he was leaving. And, and all the rest of them, they would have contributed if they stayed and had the right attitude, but it's their choice. And, what we have an opportunity to do when guys leave is we have an opportunity to replace them too.
Who do you think that Coach Saban was talking about? Now, the outgoing transfers before this season, up to 21. You can look at names like Jamil Burroughs, Chase Allen, Traquan Fagans, Jaquez Robinson, Elijah Brown, Demoy Kennedy, Tyler Harrell, Aaron Anderson, Javon Cohen, Tommy Brockemeyer, JoJo Earl, Christian Leary, Damian George, Amari Kite, Trayshawn Holden, Tanner Bowles, Kyrie Jackson, Trey Sanders, Jack Martin, and Braylon Ingram. Now, Alabama did bring 5 transfers in: Trey Amos, Tyler Buckner, Jalen Key, Trezin Marshall, and CJ Dupree. Now, out of the 5 transfers that Alabama did bring in, 4 of those guys likely to be starters during week 1, with Tyler Buckner kind of the question mark about when he is going to get on the field at the quarterback position. Who do you think that Coach Saban was mentioning? Now, I just mentioned all the names. I mean, to me, when I look at guys who left from Alabama, it seems like some of those guys were going to play in some role. And even Saban said that to some context. And he said that, look, this isn't for everybody. Probably the Alabama standard is what he meant. When I look through those transfer names, the only name that really stands out to me that I'm kind of questioning, like why did he leave, would be Aaron Anderson at the wide receiver position. I kind of scratched my head about JoJo Earl and maybe even a Christian Leary, but the other guys, it seemed like they were beat out. So when you look to a player like Aaron Anderson, he didn't even really give Alabama a lot of time for him to develop. But then again, like his home city is New Orleans. Brian wants to be closer to LSU in Baton Rouge. He was injured during his initial season at Alabama. And I think if Aaron Anderson is healthy, he doesn't leave Alabama. And I'm sure it was difficult for Anderson, being a first-year player from New Orleans, leaves to Tuscaloosa. I get it. It's a 4-hour drive. But still, you're injured, and, it is what it is. But I think that makes sense. But when you look at the overall transfers that left the program, which other guys could have made a strong impact? It doesn't seem like there's really a lot of those guys. It almost kind of seems like they left to make room for other players who were simply going to play, or those players just weren't going to play at the highest level, right? So when you look through that transfer list again, other names that maybe jump out, Trey Sanders, right? I mean, he dealt with a lot of injuries. It's even amazing that he's still playing. Damian George, maybe at the tackle position, but you look at Alabama's tackles who they have now. Tyler Harrell, who came from Louisville, now he's at Miami. He didn't see the field. Another guy that got kind of banged up. Demoy Kennedy, you looked at who Alabama has at outside linebacker. He wouldn't play this year. Same thing with Elijah Brown. Traquan Fagans wasn't going to play this year. Jaquez Robinson wasn't going to play this year. Jamil Burroughs, not going to play this year. Tommy Brockemeyer, probably not going to play this year. So, look, sometimes these players get, in a sense, processed. And then what that means is they're not going to play at Alabama, so it's kind of like the writing is on the wall, and they have other opportunities to go play at other places, and that's where the transfer portal has brought us. Another player I guess we could mention is Kyrie Jackson, but he wasn't going to play. I thought he was going to play, honestly, here at Alabama, but Now he's playing at Oregon. So I want to hear from you inside the comment box regarding Coach Saban's comments about the player that you feel he was disappointed that entered the transfer portal and left Alabama. Do you agree with me that it was Aaron Anderson, or do you feel it was somebody else? Hey, stay tuned on Saturday. I got my fall camp superlatives coming your way right here on BAMA Football on YouTube.